Hi, it's Laura again from Lunarfire Astrology, and I'm here to talk to you about the new moon in Cancer that we've got coming up on Tuesday, the 14th of July at 10:43 BST time here in the UK. And what does this new moon bring? Well, it's inviting us to really feel our feelings and honor our emotional needs now and those of the past. On the lead up to this lunation, Mercury retrograde in Cancer is joining the Sun, forming what we call a cazimi. And that's really bringing a spotlight to our memories and to our emotions. It's bringing kind of real emotional clarity. It's a new chapter, but first we're being asked to reflect on where we've come from, our roots, our childhood, our relationship to mother and family. We are remembering how things felt and how we were nurtured and whether we received the kind of emotional support that we really needed. We carry these memories in our body, and it's time to release those that really keep us stuck and overly guarded, because after all, Cancer is the crab and it can have a tendency to hide behind the shell. We're called to reflect on whether we have been communicating our feelings and our needs or not. If we have compassion for ourselves and for others, then we might be able to heal the emotional experience of the past. Here, the past is really meeting the future, bringing a turning point and an opportunity to redefine how you navigate a certain area of your life depending on your birth chart. We're opening ourselves up to vulnerability, and using our emotional intelligence means that we can move forward, redefining our sense of home, family, and belonging. With the ruler of this moon being, well, the moon, seen as the moon is ruling Cancer, so it's in its home sign. It's in a wide square to Saturn in Aries, so we could be trying to push through. If we throw enough energy at something, then we can avoid having to sit with those uncomfortable feelings, which will eventually come out in unhealthy ways, of course. But what Saturn in Aries is inviting here is us to protect our energy by honouring our boundaries and putting ourselves first as needed. The image of this moon, nearly at 22 degrees of Cancer, is symbolised by a woman awaiting a sailboat, which represents the feminine energy of allowing and not forcing in order to fully receive. It's a time for quiet reflection and receptivity, and Cancer can often lean into, doing too much and overgiving. But leaning back a little bit can feel incredibly frustrating. However, if we do, then that's where the magic can really happen. It doesn't mean we can't take action, but it does mean we need to avoid forcing things. The South Node is currently getting ready to leave Virgo, and there it's sitting close to Venus. There is a yod at the moment, which is a finger of fate formation pointing at this Venus and sitting close to the South Node. And it's supported by Neptune in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius. This is real fated growth, helping us to let go of outdated values connected to service and overly trying to control the outcome of things. But it's trying to encourage us to retain some of the discernment around what it is that we are creating. We're finding inner strength and clarity from our intuition, and we receive the support to break away from old patterns with a powerful vision of the future in order to do so. This new moon is less about just setting intentions and more about healing the past and redefining your sense of family and belonging to allow room for receptivity. Neptune retrograde in Aries at the moment is creating space for inner clarity to emerge so that dreams can actually be realized rather than simply having pipe dreams. Venus in a tense square to Uranus in Gemini is forcing a shake-up, and although it might feel uncomfortable, it's liberating us from perfectionism and self-criticism. by way of new connections and ideas that seemingly come out of the blue. Something is challenging our values and opening us up to new opportunities and perspectives, including around relationships and finances. It could also unlock something creative and different in us. I would just say to tune into the body where it's concerned with these new connections and new opportunities to sort of feel if it feels right, because the body is going to tell you. The new moon is falling during this week where we have a rare cradle formation in the sky. You'll be hearing some astrologers referring to it as Barbo's basket. And the exact nature of this cradle we haven't lived through before. There's a flowing energy of the triad element within this cradle that's made up of sort of a mini triangle between Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. And that's going to play out over the next few years, with July being one of those key moments that it's really getting activated. It provides a huge opportunity for profound shifts in our evolution, no less, particularly our consciousness and the distribution of power. This cannot be understated. The opposition between Jupiter and Pluto completes the cradle formation, and that perfects between the 19th and 20th of July, so very active for the World Cup final. And the chart for the final has other significant fated configurations, which is rare to have all in one chart. And there's so much that I could say about the chart of the World Cup final, but there's just enough to say in this video as it is. So watch this space on that one. But I suspect this match is going to have everything: drama, theatre, strategy, surprises, emotions running high, and resilience. Jupiter opposite Pluto is tense, to say the least. And of course, this all plays out on a much wider scale than just the World Cup final. And, you know, it's really asking, how far can something expand before it self-destructs? In Leo, Jupiter can be bold, a risk taker, and rises to the occasion. But with Pluto in Aquarius opposite, the power could be redirected in surprising ways. Expect twists and turns, power struggles, exposing what's false, purging old identity and social roles, and ego deaths. So pretty casual, right? But just to bring us back then to the new moon in Cancer, contemplate this. What old emotional patterns are you ready to release so that you can communicate your needs and reimagine your sense of home and belonging? So thanks again for listening, and I wish you a very happy new moon in Cancer, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.